The world watched in horror as the latest wave of violence erupted in Gaza. The air was thick with tension, and the ground shook with the force of explosions. Families huddled together, seeking shelter from the relentless bombardment. The cries of children and the wails of the wounded filled the air, painting a grim picture of the human cost of this conflict. Images of destruction and despair flooded our screens, leaving many feeling overwhelmed and helpless. Buildings reduced to rubble, streets littered with debris, and the haunting faces of those who have lost everything. The scale of the devastation was almost unimaginable, and yet it was a stark reality for the people of Gaza. Refugees, displaced from their homes, wandered aimlessly, searching for safety and solace amidst the chaos. The conflict, a deeply rooted and complex issue, once again highlighted the stark contrast in narratives between different media outlets. On one screen, we saw the harrowing tales of survival and loss, while on another, the strategic discussions of military operations and political maneuvers. This split-screen reality underscored the multifaceted nature of the conflict, where every story had multiple sides, each vying for attention and validation. While some focused on the humanitarian crisis unfolding in Gaza, others emphasized the security concerns of Israel. Humanitarian aid workers rushed to provide relief, distributing food, water, and medical supplies to those in dire need. Meanwhile, Israeli security forces conducted operations they deemed necessary for the protection of their citizens. This duality of perspectives created a complex tapestry of narratives, each with its own set of priorities and urgencies. This disparity in coverage underscores a crucial debate about media bias, particularly within prominent Western outlets like CNN and BBC. The way stories are framed, the language used, and the images chosen all play a role in shaping public perception. As viewers, we are left to navigate this maze of information, questioning the objectivity and motivations behind each report. In a world divided by conflict, the role of the media becomes ever more critical in bridging gaps and fostering understanding. Al Jazeera, the Qatar-based news organization, has consistently provided extensive coverage of the Gaza conflict. Founded in 1996, Al Jazeera has grown to become one of the most influential news networks in the world, with a reach that spans across continents. Its coverage is known for its depth and breadth, often delving into stories that other networks might overlook. Their reporting, often focusing on the human cost of the conflict and the plight of Palestinian civilians, has earned both praise and criticism. Al Jazeera's journalists are frequently on the ground, providing first-hand accounts and powerful visuals that bring the realities of the conflict to viewers around the globe. This approach has made them a trusted source for many who seek to understand the complexities of the region. Supporters commend Al Jazeera for providing a voice to the marginalized and challenging dominant narratives. They argue that the network's focus on human stories and its willingness to tackle difficult subjects head-on is essential in a media landscape that can often be skewed by political and commercial interests. Al Jazeera's commitment to covering the Gaza conflict in detail is seen as a testament to its dedication to journalistic integrity and the pursuit of truth. Critics, however, accuse the network of being biased against Israel and sympathetic to Hamas. They argue that Al Jazeera's coverage can sometimes lack balance, portraying one side of the conflict more favorably than the other. This has led to heated debates about media bias and the role of news organizations in shaping public opinion. The network's critics believe that its reporting can contribute to further polarization and misunderstanding. This contrast in perception highlights the inherent subjectivity in interpreting news and the importance of considering diverse perspectives. In an era where information is abundant and easily accessible, it is crucial for viewers to critically evaluate the sources of their news and to seek out multiple viewpoints. Al Jazeera's coverage of the Gaza conflict serves as a reminder of the power of media to influence public discourse and the need for a well-informed and discerning audience. BBC and CNN, two of the world's most influential news organizations, have faced accusations of pro-Israel bias in their coverage of the Gaza conflict. Critics argue that their reporting often frames Israel as a victim of terrorism while downplaying the Palestinian narrative. These allegations gained further traction following recent events, as journalists from both organizations came forward with serious concerns about editorial decisions and alleged censorship. Specific incidents have fueled the allegations of bias against CNN and BBC. In one instance, CNN was accused of uncritically airing Israeli claims about Hamas operating from a children's hospital in Gaza. Critics argued that CNN prioritized Israeli narratives over independent verification. Similarly, the BBC faced backlash for broadcasting an interview with an Israeli official who made unsubstantiated claims about Hamas atrocities. These events, among others, have led many to question the impartiality of these news giants and their commitment to balanced reporting. The simmering discontent within CNN and BBC over their Gaza coverage reached a boiling point when several journalists resigned in protest. These journalists, citing ethical concerns and a stifling of dissenting voices, argued that the organization's editorial decisions favored Israel and silenced Palestinian perspectives. Their resignations, a powerful indictment of the alleged bias, sparked widespread debate about journalistic integrity and the responsibility of media organizations to provide fair and balanced coverage, especially in conflict zones. In defense denials from the behemoths. Both CNN and BBC have vehemently denied allegations of bias in their Gaza coverage. They maintain that their reporting is guided by journalistic principles of accuracy, impartiality, and balance. The organizations emphasize their commitment to providing comprehensive coverage that reflects the complexities of the conflict. However, these denials have done little to quell the criticism, with many pointing to a pattern of biased reporting that extends beyond isolated incidents. The power of the narrative shaping public perception. The way media outlets frame conflicts, especially those as emotionally charged as the Gaza conflict, can significantly influence public opinion. Biased reporting, whether intentional or unconscious, can perpetuate harmful stereotypes, exacerbate existing prejudices, and hinder efforts to achieve a just and lasting peace. When news organizations prioritize certain narratives over others, they risk presenting an incomplete and potentially misleading picture of the situation on the ground. Demanding better: the quest for unbiased reporting. The controversy surrounding CNN and BBC's Gaza coverage underscores the need for greater media literacy and critical consumption of news. It is crucial to recognize that no news organization is entirely free from bias. Consumers of news should actively seek out diverse perspectives, challenge their own assumptions, and engage in informed discussions about the information they encounter. The responsibility to inform. A call for media integrity. In an increasingly interconnected world where information is readily accessible but often overwhelming, the role of media organizations in shaping public understanding cannot be overstated. The digital age has brought with it a deluge of information, making it more crucial than ever for media outlets to act as gatekeepers of truth. With the power to influence public opinion and policy, the media holds a significant responsibility to ensure that the information they disseminate is accurate, fair, and comprehensive. It is imperative for news outlets to uphold the highest standards of journalistic ethics, strive for accuracy and balance, and provide a platform for diverse voices. This means not only reporting the facts, but also providing context and analysis to help the public understand complex issues. Journalists must be vigilant in their pursuit of the truth, cross-checking sources and verifying information before it is published. They must also be transparent about their methods and open to scrutiny, as trust is the cornerstone of their relationship with the audience. The pursuit of truth in all its complexity should be the guiding principle for all those entrusted with the responsibility to inform the public. This involves not only uncovering and reporting facts, but also challenging misinformation and holding those in power accountable. Investigative journalism plays a crucial role in this endeavor, shining a light on issues that might otherwise remain hidden. By asking tough questions and digging deeper, journalists can uncover the stories that matter most. In doing so, they help to create a more informed and engaged society, one that is better equipped to face the challenges of our time.
Welcome back to The Daily Show. Tonight, we're diving deep into the world of international intrigue and geopolitical chess games. Hold on to your seats, folks, because we're about to unpack Donald Trump's Africa strategy, a topic that's as complex as it is controversial. Believe it or not, it's a thing. And it's about to get interesting, very interesting. Think of it as the sequel nobody asked for. The Second Scramble for Africa. A modern-day saga of power and influence. In this corner, we have the United States with its eyes on Africa's vast resources and strategic importance. It's a high-stakes game. And in the other corner, we have China, already deeply entrenched in the continent with investments and infrastructure projects. Their presence is undeniable. Oh, and let's not forget Russia, lurking in the background, flexing its military muscles and making friends. They're always a wild card. It's a battle for influence, folks, a battle for economic dominance, and maybe even a battle for the future of global politics. So, buckle up as we break down Trump's game plan, his key targets, and what it all means for the future of US-Africa relations. This is more than just politics, it's a strategic maneuver. This is going to be wild, a roller coaster of international relations. Trump's Africa strategy is all about securing America's economic and strategic interests. It's a calculated move. That means countering China's growing influence, tapping into Africa's vast natural resources, and maybe even establishing a few more military bases along the way. It's a multifaceted approach. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. The stakes couldn't be higher. Let's be real, folks. China has been playing chess in Africa while the US was playing checkers. They've poured billions into infrastructure projects, secured access to critical resources, and built strong economic ties across the continent. And America? Well, let's just say we haven't exactly been rolling out the red carpet for African leaders. Trump sees this Chinese dominance as a direct threat to American interests, and he's not afraid to admit it. He wants to counter China's influence by offering an alternative model of engagement. One based on business deals, investment opportunities, and maybe a little bit of good old-fashioned American muscle. But it's not just about infrastructure and investments. China has also been steadily increasing its military presence in Africa. They've established their first overseas military base in Djibouti, right next to a US base. Coincidence? I think not. So yeah, you could say Trump has a bit of a China problem on his hands, but hey, who doesn't these days? Here's a fun fact. Your phone, your electric car, those fancy solar panels on your roof, they all rely on a whole bunch of minerals that come from, you guessed it, Africa. We're talking cobalt, lithium, coltan, the list goes on. These are the building blocks of the 21st century economy. And guess who controls a huge chunk of these critical minerals? China, of course. They've been busy securing mining rights and supply chains across Africa, leaving the US in the dust. Trump knows that whoever controls these minerals controls the future of technology, and he's not about to let China run away with the prize. He wants to secure American access to these critical resources, even if it means cutting deals with some questionable regimes. It's a classic case of the ends justify the means. Or as Trump might put it, it's a beautiful thing, folks. Just beautiful. Remember BRICS? Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa? It's like the cool kids club of emerging economies, and they're not afraid to challenge the established order. One way they're doing that is through the New Development Bank, aka the BRICS Bank. It's like the World Bank, but with less Western influence and a lot more ambition. The bank is funding infrastructure projects, promoting economic development, and generally shaking things up in the developing world. And here's where it gets interesting for Trump. Africa is a major focus of the New Development Bank. They're pouring billions into projects across the continent, challenging the traditional dominance of Western institutions. Trump sees this as yet another example of how the global balance of power is shifting. And he's not happy about it. He wants to make sure the US remains a major player in Africa, even if it means going head-to-head with the BRICS bloc. It's a high-stakes game of economic poker, and the stakes just got a whole lot higher. Section 5: Ethiopia, Eritrea, Ghana, and Egypt, key players in a new game. Alright, let's talk about some specific countries. These nations are not just random picks, they are strategically chosen for their unique attributes and potential. Trump's Africa strategy isn't just about broad strokes and grand pronouncements, it's about detailed, calculated moves. It also involves getting cozy with certain key players on the continent, building relationships that can yield significant benefits. We're talking about countries like Ethiopia, Eritrea, Ghana, and Egypt. Each of these nations holds a unique position in Africa's geopolitical landscape. Each of these nations has something unique to offer, whether it's strategic location, access to resources, or simply a willingness to play ball with the United States. Their individual strengths make them invaluable. Ethiopia, for example, is a rising economic power in East Africa with a large and growing population. Its economic potential is immense. Eritrea sits on a strategically important stretch of the Red Sea coastline, making it a key player in maritime trade routes. Ghana is a major gold producer and a key U.S. ally in West Africa. Its natural resources and political stability are significant. And Egypt, well, they control the Suez Canal. Need I say more? This waterway is crucial for global trade. Trump sees these countries as potential partners in his quest to counter China, secure resources, and project American influence. These alliances could reshape the geopolitical landscape. He's likely to offer them a mix of carrots and sticks, investment opportunities, military aid, and maybe even a few presidential tweets singing their praises. The stakes are high, and the game is on. Section 6. Trade not aid. A business-first approach. Forget about handouts, folks. Trump's approach to Africa is all about business. He believes that trade, not aid, is the key to unlocking Africa's economic potential. And he's not afraid to use a little tough love to get what he wants. Trump has been critical of traditional aid programs, arguing that they often fail to produce tangible results. Instead, he wants to promote trade and investment as the path to prosperity. He's likely to push for expanded trade deals like the African Growth and Opportunity Act and encourage American businesses to set up shop in Africa. But it's not just about boosting American exports. Trump also wants to make sure that American companies get a piece of the action in Africa's booming markets. He's particularly interested in sectors like energy, infrastructure, and technology, where American firms have a competitive edge. It's a classic Trumpian approach: cut deals, make money, and put America first. Whether it works or not, well, that's a whole other story. Section 7. The military dimension, securing interests and allies. Let's not kid ourselves, folks. The stakes are high and the game is complex. When it comes to foreign policy, Trump isn't afraid to use a little muscle. His approach is direct and often controversial, and Africa is no exception. The continent is a key battleground for influence. Trump sees a strong military presence in Africa as essential for protecting American interests, combating terrorism, and countering Chinese and Russian influence. This is a multifaceted strategy. Under Trump, the U.S. military has stepped up its operations in Africa, conducting drone strikes, training local forces, and expanding its network of bases. These actions are designed to create a robust security framework. Trump has also shown a willingness to work with authoritarian leaders who are seen as allies in the fight against terrorism, even if it means turning a blind eye to human rights abuses. This pragmatic approach has its critics. But Trump's military approach to Africa has been met with mixed reactions. Some see it as a necessary evil. Some argue that it's necessary to protect American interests and combat instability. They believe a strong military presence can bring stability. Others worry that it could lead to greater militarization of the continent and entanglement in local conflicts. The fear is that it might exacerbate existing tensions. One thing's for sure, Trump's Africa strategy is as much about hard power as it is about economic influence. The two are deeply intertwined, and he's not afraid to use both to get what he wants. This dual approach defines his foreign policy. Section 8. A new era of pragmatism, shifting priorities in U.S. foreign policy. Trump's Africa strategy represents a significant shift in U.S. foreign policy. It's a move away from the traditional focus on democracy promotion and human rights towards a more pragmatic approach based on economic interests and strategic competition. Trump is less concerned with whether African leaders are democratically elected or respect human rights. He's more interested in whether they're willing to do business with the U.S., counter Chinese influence, and cooperate on security issues. This new pragmatism has been met with both praise and criticism. Some argue that it's a long overdue correction to a naive and often counterproductive approach to Africa. Others worry that it signals a dangerous abandonment of American values and a willingness to embrace authoritarianism in the pursuit of narrow interests. Section 9. Conclusion: the future of U.S.-Africa relations. So, there you have it, folks. Trump's Africa strategy in all its messy, complicated glory. It's a strategy driven by a desire to counter China, secure resources, and project American power on a continent that's rapidly becoming a key battleground in the 21st century. Whether this strategy will be successful remains to be seen. But one thing is clear. Trump's approach to Africa is shaking things up and forcing a reassessment of the U.S. role in the region. The future of U.S.-Africa relations is uncertain, but one thing is for sure, it's going to be interesting, and you can bet The Daily Show will be there to cover every twist and turn. Stay tuned!